Hi, we're the Ohio guys here at Katsucon in National Harbor, Maryland. Today I'm joined by Cherami Leigh. How are you doing, Cherami?
How are you?
Oh, doing well. Got a few questions for you this evening. What was it like working on Erased?
Erased was really fun. I was very excited when I auditioned for the show just because I was really intrigued by the concept. I really liked the time travel element. I liked that these female characters were very different from each other, but also very strong characters. And I really liked, even though Ben Diskin's character is a little depressed, I thought he was very likable, and he did a great job. And I was really stoked with how it came out. We premiered, I guess, the first 2 episodes at Anime Expo this year, and my husband went with me, and he was hooked after the first episode. They end on some really great cliffhangers, and so after the second episode, my husband was like, "So what happens?" I was like, I don't know. We only recorded the first 2 to get ready for the convention." And so he had to wait, and he was so excited. And then once we got to the 6th episode, he almost flipped a table after, I think, episode 4. And he hasn't finished the series yet. We had to stop at 6 until he could have the next 6 episodes, because he's like, you can't, this stop-start thing, it's such an addicting series. So it was very fun to work on.
It's a really good series. Definitely check that one out. Speaking of time travel, though, Steins Gate. What's it like working on that one?
Another one of my all-time favorite shows. When Colleen Klinkenbeard cast me on that, and she also directed the series, she said, "I'm casting you as this role, and I know you don't know anything about the show right now, but I think it's going to be one of your favorite shows of all time, and I think Suzuha is going to be one of your all-time favorite characters." And I was like, that's a bold statement. I've played some pretty cool characters, but she was absolutely right. Suzuha was a blast. Clearly, I like playing characters where I can be a little wacky and all over the place, and oftentimes in anime, because the animation is pre-existing, it's hard to like be that out-of-the-box crazy character. But with Suzuha, there was quite a plethora of opportunities for me to say crazy things, such as instead of "what's up," I said "wasabi" a couple of times, or how many different ways could I say "hey, how's it going?" I think we did the "hey, you guys" reference. So that was just really fun to play this insane human being that was also very much like me, except I could never pull off that shorts unitard situation that she's got going on. That's a skill.
Quite the outfit.
Yeah, it sure is. But it's such a cool show. They were we had like on the window where you could see the director and the engineer, they would have the timelines. So we would say like, this is where this is happening, because if you weren't in those scenes, it was very hard to track where it fell in the episode. And so she's like, "So let's reference the timeline really quick." I was like, "Oh, I know exactly where we are. It's this, this, and this." She goes, "Your brain works in mysterious ways." I was like, "My brain works like a time traveler. You cast me well." So the show just made sense to me. I just loved it.
Awesome. A newer one, God Eater.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that?
That was really a big surprise, because I had worked on the game, and I had a different character in the game, and my character in the game is very fun and very crazy. As you see a pattern, I usually get cast as the comic relief who's like, "I'm gonna blow things up, but I'm not very good at it, but I'll make you laugh while I'm doing it." And then with the anime, I got cast as a completely different character. Very serious, very emotionally traumatized. Definitely, we discussed and decided on the production side that she's definitely suffering from some post-traumatic stress disorder from watching traumatic and terrible things happen to her family. And it was a very interesting challenge for me to play a character that doesn't really know how to express those emotional feelings. Most of my characters are like, "I'm sad, I'm crying, everybody's going to know about how I feel." And she was not that way. It was also quite a challenge saying her name, the full name.
Do you want to give it a shot?
I do not. 'Cause it took like, I want to have all of the outtakes in a row. Because like that last name into there, they were like, "Let's get the Russian accent," and they had a Russian dialect teacher in there, and she was like, "No, Cherami, this line, it goes on an upward inflection here." I'm like, "But then I can't say the last name. This is so." I think we probably have like 50 takes, and I want to get all the outtakes put together and release the outtakes of just me butchering her name.
That'd definitely be hilarious to check out one
I
day.
love it. I should just start asking for all of my outtakes from Borderlands, get all the guitar riffs that I couldn't do. Anytime it was a series of 5 or more where I just can't speak, and most of the time it's like, I'm sorry, I'm failing you. And the director's like, no, it's okay. I'm like, it's really not. I'm uncomfortably uncoordinated with my vocal cords right now. I'm sorry. But I would love to get all of those together just so I can laugh at myself and have everyone else laugh at me. I feel like if it comes from me and I put it up, then it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here guys, look, it's so funny. We're laughing at me. And then when everyone's like, this is really hilarious. You're nuts. You're terrible. Then it's like, okay, that hurts. But
Another show some people might have heard of, Sailor Moon.
Yes.
What was it like working on that?
Incredibly surreal. It's been a couple years since we started the redub of the classic series and worked on Crystal. And then this year we premiered the first movie. And we were at this amazing historic hotel in LA, and we did a red carpet, and it was really, really crazy to see that it's sold out and there's thousands of people that love Sailor Moon, and there was confetti cannons and everyone was so supportive, and it was amazing to see, which is true of the classic series and of the movies. You know, these are from the 90s, and it's amazing that the message is still as powerful, if not more relevant and more powerful today, which I think really exemplifies a truly great anime and a truly great story, that it truly is timeless. And people that were watching this show as kids, like my age, are now watching as an adult, and they're seeing different things that they did not see as a kid, and they're like, oh, these lessons or these episodes mean something more to me. And my cousin, who's 8, can watch it with me, and we're both getting different things out of the same episode. And I think that's really, really powerful and really cool to be a part of a series like that. But yeah, it was very cool. My 2 male cousins went to go see the movie in theaters, and I was very proud of them. One of them's 15, and he's such a jock, and he was like, yeah, Sailor Moon is pretty cool. And I was like, I love this. I got my super masculine cousin to go see Sailor Moon. So I'm gonna get him a shirt for Christmas that says real men support sailors. I don't know if he'll wear it. Maybe around me. Maybe I could get him to wear it to a baseball game. That'll be great.
There you go.
Yeah. A broken dream.
A little bit of a blast from the past, Negima. What was it like working on that?
Yeah, really surprising because they had already cast the show for the first season, and then they had a couple of actors that I think one had moved to LA, and then one of them had a child, and she was like, I can't make the drive down to work anymore because I have a baby. And so I kind of just lucked out and got to work on the show, and Jamie directed me as Setsuna, and I learned how to do fighting reactions for the first time. So that show was definitely a learning experience, but it's so fun, and there were so many girls. It's such a fun girly show. It was a blast.
Awesome. Another new one, Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that?
This is probably, of recent memory, one of the funniest characters that I've ever played. They brought me in for a test recording session. I did an audition. They said, we think we want you for this character, but she's really deep voiced and really weird. So we thought of you, but we're not sure you can do it. And I think they thought of me for weird, but didn't know if my voice was deep enough. So I was like, well, I need to prove to them that I can do this, because I don't want anybody thinking they can out-weird me. So when I went in, there was kind of not a lot of direction, and the casting director was in there, and the client was in there, and the director. And as we started messing with the character, we don't know, she got this weird Katharine Hepburn vibe that sometimes slips out into the character, and she says the weirdest things, and somehow she sounds like she's from a 1940s movie, and she's like, I don't know what happened, but the writing on that was genius. There were just so many opportunities. I love that she goes from really sweet and really polished to an exploding crazy lunatic in 0 seconds. So it was fun to try to figure out how to gear shift and not run out of air. So it was a really great challenge, but I had a blast. And there's nothing more gratifying when the casting director's like, all right, we've heard enough, she's got the role. And the director's like, okay, well then you can go back to work. She's like, oh, I'm not leaving. This is super funny. I'm staying. And this casting director like never laughs, and she like stayed for the whole like first 4-hour sessions because she's like, this is hilarious.
Oh, wow.
That was really cool. So I was like, oh, I hope the fans like it as much as she likes it, because I'm having way too much fun. And I couldn't tell anybody that I was in it. Like, it's premiering. People were like, is this you in this episode? And I'm waiting for the director to say, that's her. He didn't say anything. So I waited for like a month. And then I was like, that's me. And all these fans were like, way to be late on the bandwagon. We asked you a month ago. I'm like, well, I didn't get permission.
Yikes.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Another older series, Ghost Hunt.
Yeah.
What's it like working on that?
That was my very first, like, lead character that I really connected to. At the time, like, my hair was cut like I really felt like and I love anything that deals with paranormal or ghosts. So that was very exciting. We recorded the entire series in the dark. So I felt very, like, there were a couple times I jumped and screamed in the booth because I'm in the booth alone with just 2 glowing screens and really loud headphones. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be terrifying. And then when I watched it, like, in my living room, I was like, it's not nearly as scary as I remember. Because you're not in, like, a claustrophobic, padded room like an insane person with headphones on. But, yeah, I think my favorite episode, it's so hard. The dollhouse episode was cool. But I think my favorite episode is the blood-stained labyrinth, just because it was so scary.
Very nice.
Really cool. It's always fun to watch those around Halloween. And there's a Christmas episode in there that I watch around Christmas, which is a really dark episode to watch around Christmas, but it's fun.
It's a Christmas episode. You can watch it, whatever.
You gotta.
Another one, Birdie the Mighty Decode. What was it like working on that?
That was the first time I remember that I got to work with Micah closely, because in Soul Eater it's more of an ensemble thing, and if I get to work with anybody closely, it's Jamie and Todd. And Micah and I are really good friends. So I remember working on that show with him, and that was so long ago. I missed that show because I kind of got to be the voice of reason. I'm either the crazy person or the voice of reason. How weird is that? Like, I'm typecast as either one or the other. I'm never normal. I'm like a nut. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to work with Micah. He's such a great actor. He's great with comedic timing. He's great delivering the sensitive moments. So getting to play off of him is like, my job is easy. I just have to listen to him, and all my work is done. So he's so talented.
Very awesome. Last question. Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphan. What was it like working on that?
Really cool. And I had like an epiphany because we've started working on season 2. I hope I'm allowed to say that. I did. We're working on season 2. I know they announced it. So we were working on it, and there's been a lot going on with the country and political things, and everybody not knowing what the right thing to do or what's right and what's wrong, and I feel like that show for me, finding a character who knows who she is and knows what she wants, and is trying so hard not to be swayed by people that are giving her, well, we can do this for you, or we can do this for you, and having to learn to think for yourself and say, I've trusted these people my entire life, and do they really have my best interest? Are they using me for something? It was such an empowering role, and to watch her journey and to watch her kind of evolve for what she wanted for her mission, but at the same time saying, no, I'm not going to take an easy way out. I mean, if this means that I lose my life in the process, I have to stand by my convictions, and my integrity matters most, my word matters most, and I have to be there for these people that need me. And there's so many people that say, well, we want you to be a public speaker, and we want you to be this nice person, and it's so easy to be influenced by the money or whoever's buying you for the position. And I admire so much that she is a character that has never fallen into that. I don't know. But yeah, so I really admire that about her, that she never fell into that trap.
Awesome. Yeah, Gundam series are definitely usually lots of different layers to the series.
Absolutely. I did Gundam Thunderbolt as well last year. Everyone's like, it's your year of Gundam. and Gundam Thunderbolt was a completely different vibe of a show. When I got brought in, they were like, we're going to do a really deep voice. This character is really tortured. She's got a lot going on. And it was one of the darkest animes that I have seen. It was not afraid to go places. Did not mince words, did not try to glaze over some of the serious issues. And it's one of the things that I've really loved about Gundam, is they're like, no, we're a show that we're going to tell it like it is. And that's one of the things I love about working in anime, is there's something for everyone. And I think the reason that some people are so passionate about Gundam is I've met a serviceman, I believe he was in the Marines, and he said, I love Gundam because it's not afraid to go there. And I feel like these characters, I can relate to them. My unit can relate to them. And it's nice to know that there's something that truly represents aspects of what I've gone through, which is such an honor to be a part of that on a completely different note. So yeah, it's been really cool to be in the Gundam side of things.
Very nice. Now, is there any way that fans can reach you, like Facebook, Twitter?
Yes, I am on Facebook. My Facebook is very weird. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it. It will let me accept friend requests some days and let me not, and then says it's a page, and now I don't know. So I'm talking to Facebook because I have so much pull in my life. They listen to me, not, which is why it's been like 2 years to try to figure out what's going on my Facebook. But it's Cherami Leigh. And I'm on Twitter at Cherami Leigh. That is not a crazy situation. I do respond to those, and it's not like in limbo land of I don't know what it means. And I'm on Instagram at CLKstar, and I think those are the only ones that I know. There's always new like social media things. I think I have a Snapchat. I don't know how to use it very well. I just like to do the funny filters and funny faces, but that's it. And I think it's at Cherami Leigh or it's at CLKstar. It's one of the two. But yeah.
Very nice. Well, we're the Ohio guys. She's Cherami. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.